Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss on the chapter Human Reproduction Part 3. So in the previous video, you already studied about human reproduction introduction, the male reproductive system, female reproductive system, and mammary gland. So today in this session, we are going to discuss on gametogenesis process, spermatogenesis, structure of human sperm, and hormonal control of spermatogenesis. So let us first know what is gametogenesis. The process of formation of male and female gametes are known as gametogenesis. Here the male and female gametes are nothing but the male gamete is a sperm and the female gamete is a ovum. This male gamete sperm is produced by the testis and the female gamete ovum is produced by the ovary. This testis and ovary are known as a primary sex organ. Okay, and in the gametogenesis there are two processes which are taking place to produce a sperm and ovum. So this process are, one is a spermatogenesis, another one is the oogenesis. So in this session we are only discussing on the concept that is the spermatogenesis. Okay, so let us know first what is spermatogenesis. The process of formation of haploid male gamete, sperm. Okay, the sperm is in the haploid male gamete. So haploid is nothing but the n number of chromosomes, and in the seminiferous tubules of the testis. So in the seminiferous tubule of the testis, if you see, the male sperm, the male gamete sperm is in the haploid condition. The n number of chromosomes are present. So that's why we are calling it as a spermatogenesis. Okay, and when this spermatogenesis taking place? So it takes place only at the puberty. That is, when the male reaches to puberty or reproductive phase. At that time it starts to reproducing the sperm. When it is in juvenile phase, the sperms are not produced. That is when the male not yet entered into the reproductive phase. This point is very important to understand how the when the spermatogenesis is taking place. When it is taking place in which phase? Only in the reproductive phase. At that phase, it is having capability to reproduce the sperm. Okay, produce the sperm. Okay, so here the inner wall of this seminiferous tubule is contains two types of cells. Okay, so these two types of the cells are plays a primary role in the reproduction. Okay, one is the germ cell, another one is a Sertoli cell. So this germ cell is playing a major role in the primary function in the reproduction. How? That is what we are going to see now. Okay, so the spermatogenesis is also taking place in the two stages. One is the spermatidogenesis, another one is the spermiogenesis. Okay, so this spermatidogenesis and the spermiogenesis, how it's going to get development into the next series of the stages, so that all thing will study. Before that we have to understand some basic concept about the testis. Okay, so let us see these diagrams. First we'll understand what these diagrams are saying. Okay, so the first diagram is the sagittal section of human testis. So in this testis you can see that it includes the accessory ducts and accessory glands. You already studied about this in the previous video. Just will recall about that. Accessory ducts and the accessory glands. Accessory ducts, what is the function of this accessory duct? It conveys the sperm to the external genitalia or the penis. Okay. So what about the accessory glands? This is the gland which releases the substances to perform a specific function. That is the function of glands. Here the some specific function is formed by an substances which is released by an gland. That substance is nothing but the seminal fluid. Okay. So now let us understand first what all these ducts. Okay. How many ducts are formed in the testis. So here you will see that the rete testis, vas efferentia, epididymis, vas deferens. So these all are the ducts which are formed in the testis. Okay. Here the rete testis, where it is? In this location. This is the rete testis. And how it is formed? Here the rete testis is formed by the seminiferous tubules. Okay, those are merged into a network like connection in the tiny tubules formation, and that rete testis is functioning, or it acts like a reservoir of the sperm. This portion is acts, or it functions as a reservoir of the sperms, and then it leads to formation of the vas efferentia, and that vas efferentia is going to lead into a coiled or comma shaped structure, so that is known as a epididymis. Okay, so this epididymis organ is functions as a storing and transporting of the sperm, and that sperm stays in the epididymis during the immature non-motile in the function. Okay. When the suitable condition occurs, when it undergoes some physiological maturation function, that time that immotile and immatured, non-motile and immatured sperms are going to form into a motile and active in the function in the epididymis. Okay, so this epididymis is next going to lead into formation of vas deferens. This is the elongated tube and runs upwards and going to connect in the urinary bladder. Okay, so this is the structure of the testis. And what is the function of this vas deferens? So this stores the sperm until the ejaculation. So it will be store the sperms until the ejaculation function. Okay. So this is all about the human testis. Now we'll go with the concept, that is the seminiferous tubule. So in the each lobule there is a coiled like connection is present. So that is here the yellow color, you can see here the yellow color connection, the coiling like tubules like structure. So that is in a seminiferous tubule. So if you take that section of the seminiferous tubule, you will see the exact picture here, how the after taking the section of seminiferous tubule, the cells are arranged inside. Okay, so this is the section. So if you see the same structure here, this is the microscopic view, the microscopic picture. If you see the same structure in the microscope, then the picture will be looks like this. So this is the cells which are rounded ovoid in the structure are arranged together, held together here. So the same picture if you see here, so here it is a clean and cleared picture how the cells are arranged one another. Okay, so how the development of this spermatogonium cell is taking place. So this is all about the basic things. First we have to understand this. So next we'll go with the complete structure of this TS of mammalian testis in the seminiferous tubule, or else we can call it as the section of seminiferous tubules. Okay, so in this structure you can see that they are held like an ovoid and also the rounded and held together one another, here held to one another. And also you can see the seminiferous tubule is a structural and functional unit, and also the wall of this seminiferous tubule is lined by the germinal epithelium. Okay, so this seminiferous tubule is lined with a germinal epithelium. In the previous slide we discussed that. So there are the two main parts are taking place in the seminiferous tubule, that is, one is the germ cell, another one is the Sertoli cell. So now we are taking the same point here by showing you the diagram. Okay, so the seminiferous tubule is formed with or the lined with the germinal epithelium, and it is made up of the two types of cells. One is the reproductive cell, another one is the non-reproductive cell. So what is this reproductive cell? Reproductive cell is a germ cell. Okay, reproductive cell is a germ cell. And what is non-reproductive cell? Here the non-reproductive cell is a Sertoli cell. So what about this germ cell, which is known as a reproductive cell? It undergoes the division and differentiation and forms some sequential stages also. Okay, so here these are the germ cells, spermatogonium, and it undergoes some repeated division and differentiation and forms primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatid, and here it is in a sperm, complete developed sperm. So this all process is taking place in the reproductive cell, that is the from the germ cell. Okay, so what about in the Sertoli cell? So in the Sertoli cell, this is the non-reproductive cell, and also this cell is known as a sustentacular cell, and it supports and nourishes the growing sperm. What is its function? It supports and nourishes the growing sperm. Here you can see in the picture, these are the Sertoli cells. Okay, so these are the Sertoli cells and these are the non-reproductive cell. And what is its function? To nourish the sperm at the growing stage. Okay, so this is the function about the Sertoli cell. And the seminiferous tubules are held to one another, and in between that there is some connective tissue is located, and some spatial cells are also formed, that is known as a Leydig cell. And these Leydig cells are also known as a interstitial cells. And what is the function of this Leydig cell or the interstitial cell? It secretes the male sex hormone, that is testosterone. So that testosterone hormone is the responsible for a secondary sex character or the secondary sexual character. Okay, hope so you have understood this whole concept about the testis, that is about the testis also, and also about the TS of mammalian testis. And this TS of mammalian testis is also known as a section of seminiferous tubule. Okay, so we'll move for the next concept, that is the spermatogenesis. So in the spermatogenesis we already discussed that the spermatogenesis process takes place in the two stages. One is the spermatidogenesis, another one is the spermiogenesis. Okay, first we'll discuss that the spermatidogenesis. So what is spermatidogenesis? The process of formation of spermatid is known as a spermatidogenesis. Here the formation of the spermatids are known as a spermatidogenesis, and also it involves three substages. One is the multiplication phase, another one is the growth phase, and last one is the maturation phase. So in each of these stages we'll see that how this spermatogonium cell is getting changed into an sperm. Okay, so the first stage is the multiplication phase. So by seeing this diagram, we can understand easily that how the spermatogonia or the spermatogonium cell is going to change into a sperm. Okay, so first we'll understand that. So spermatogonium at the first stage, here in the spermatogenesis process, it starts with the male germ cell. Here it's I already shown you one in diagram, that is in the testis, the germ cell. So that from that germ cell only this spermatogenesis process is taking place, and in the male germ cell is always in the diploid condition, where the diploid condition is nothing but the 2n number of the chromosomes are formed, that is the spermatogonia or the spermatogonium, where you will see the 2n number of the chromosomes. In human body there are the 46 chromosomes. Okay, and these male germ cells have a diploid set of chromosome. And what next happens to these male germ cells? The male germ cells undergoes mitotic division. Here you can see here the mitotic division. These male germ cell, that is the spermatogonium or the spermatogonia, undergoes mitotic division, the repeated mitotic division. It all occurs in the multiplication phase. Okay, you have to remember the phases, how the changes are taking place. Okay, so it undergoes in the mitotic division. And what is the mitotic division here? Equational cell division. So why do they undergo in the mitosis only? To increase the number of cells. Okay, so in this stage what happens? The ploidy do not get changed. They form more and more diploid cells. Okay, so this is which found in the multiplication phase. What happens next? In some of the male germ cells, they differentiate to form a specialized cells. Okay, so after the multiplication phase, when the repeated mitotic division is taking place, so some of the specialized cells are also taking place, that is known as a primary spermatocyte. Here it is, primary spermatocyte. Okay, so this primary spermatocyte, you will see here in the growth phase, the spermatogonial cell, this is here in the diagram. This cell grows in a size and also increases in the cytoplasm and matures to form a primary spermatocyte. But here in the primary spermatocyte, the chromosomal number will be remains same, that is 2n diploid, as they underwent mitosis. Okay, so what happens? But in the next, what happens? These spermatocytes, that is primary spermatocytes, undergoes meiosis division. Undergoes in the maturation phase, what happens? These undergoes repeated meiosis division, meiosis process. In this, what happens? The reductional cell division is taking place, and this reductional cell division in the meiosis 1. So what is the reductional cell division here? The chromosomal numbers are getting reduced into half. Okay, as we all know, in meiosis, two phases are there. One is meiosis 1, another one is meiosis 2. Okay, so it initially undergoes meiosis 1 and results in the formation of secondary spermatocyte. Okay, then when it reaches to the secondary spermatocyte, which are in the n number, n is nothing but the haploid set of chromosome, because the meiosis is the reductional cell division. Okay, meiosis is nothing but the reductional cell division, and here the chromosomal numbers are going to reduce into half. That's why the primary spermatocyte is going to form into a secondary spermatocyte, but the number of the chromosomes are going to reduce because it undergoes with a meiosis 1 division. Okay, and how many secondary spermatocytes are formed here? There are the 2 secondary spermatocytes are formed, and these 2 secondary spermatocytes are in the haploid number. By seeing this diagram, easily understand that how the germ cells are undergoing with a mitosis and meiosis function and forming the some series of changes are occurring in the cells. And now what happens in the secondary spermatocyte? They further undergo meiosis 2. They further undergo goes in the meiosis 2, which is the second half of the division. And here what happens? You will see here the second meiosis 2 division, and what happens? The meiotic 2 division is nothing but the equational cell division. So equational cell division, when it occurs in the secondary spermatocyte, it forms the 4 haploid set of spermatids, and which are going to convert or transfer into formation of sperms or the spermatozoa. Okay, so this process, spermatid gets converted into sperm, process is known as the spermiogenesis. Understood? So this is how the spermatogenesis process takes place. So the next concept is, here the picture, how the changes are occurring in the seminiferous tubule. So as you already got the how the structure is, the testis structure of the testis and the seminiferous tubule. This is the seminiferous tubule, and here if you take the section of this seminiferous tubule, you will see the picture, the clear picture how it looks here. That is the seminiferous tubule, the section of seminiferous tubule, and here it is the spermatogonium cell, and how it is getting changed. The series of changes are occurring, that is primary spermatocyte and the secondary spermatocyte and the spermatids. Then this spermatid is going to convert into spermatozoa or the sperm. Okay, so this process is known as a spermiogenesis. And also here the Sertoli cells are present, and these Sertoli cells are also playing major role in the conversion of spermatids to spermatozoa. Okay, so we'll see that concept in the next slide, how they are getting changed. Okay, so what do you mean by so first we'll discuss what is the spermiogenesis. The transformation of non-motile inactive spermatids into active motile spermatozoa. So when the cell is in the stage of spermatid, so that time the sperm is in the non-motile and inactive in the function. That the same spermatid, when it reaches to the sperm or develops into a sperm, then that sperm becomes motile in the function and also active in the function. So this whole process is known as a spermiogenesis. And here some structural changes are observed in the spermatids. Okay, how it is going to convert into sperm. Let us know about that. So a small vesicle of the Golgi complex fuses to form a large cup-like acrosome. Okay, here when the development of the sperm is taking place, there is a Golgi complex which is present in the spermatid. Okay, so that is fusing to form a large cup-like structure on the nucleus. So anterior of the nucleus, that is the acrosome. So and the 2 centrioles of the spermatids are moved towards the nucleus. There are the 2 centrioles. One is the proximal, another one is the distal centriole. These two centrioles are going to move towards the nucleus. The proximal is going to move towards the nucleus, and another one, distal, is going to move towards towards the tail, which is helping for the elongation of the tail. And here the mitochondria is also playing a major role, which having a large mass at the neck region and providing the energy for the sperm. Okay, here it is the structure. You can see here there is a acrosome formation in the on the anterior part of the nucleus, and at the neck region you will see there is a centrioles formation here. One is the proximal, another one is the distal, and distal centriole is going to form a filament structure, which is a tail, which is going to form a tail formation. And here at the middle part you can see here the mitochondria, which is helping in the energy source and providing the energy source, and also here the tail formation, which is helping in the movement. Okay, so this is all about how the structural changes are taking place in the spermatids to sperm. Now we'll see the diagram how the changes are taking place. So same here, whatever I have explained in that slide, the same here the diagrammatic part is there. You can understand here easily about this, the stage of the spermatid here. Okay, so this spermatid is how the spermatid is getting changed. Okay, so during this phase what happened, this spermatid is undergoes series of changes. Here the Golgi apparatus are going to fuse to form a acrosome at the anterior part of the nucleus. Okay, and what all those changes? Those changes are taking place in the morphological and the physiological way. So like condensation of nucleus, formation of the acrosome, and formation of the axial filament. Okay, and some changes in mitochondria also. And the centrioles are also, and loss of bulk cytoplasm. Here you can see from the beginning spermatids to next stages how it is getting changed from first to second, and then how the cytoplasma slowly getting reduced, and then when it reaches to the complete, when reaches nearer to the development of the sperm, it loses its bulk of the cytoplasm, excess of cytoplasm, and reduces, and then it forms the complete structure of the sperm. And during this process what happens, the sperms themselves anchor to the Sertoli cell and takes the nourishment from the Sertoli cell. If once this process has completed, they release themselves from the Sertoli cells and enters into the lumen part of seminiferous tubules. Okay, so this entire process is called a spermiation. Understood what is the spermiation? So the next concept is we will study about structure of human sperm. So the structure of human sperm, the plasma membrane is envelopes this entire structure of the sperm. Okay, and here there are some parts which are distinguished in the human sperm. One is the head, another one is the neck, middle part, and tail. So at the head region you will see that elongated haploid nucleus. Here it is the head, the nucleus part is there, and this is in the haploid, that is the N number. Okay, and it is present at the anterior at the head region, and at the anterior portion of this nucleus there is a cup like structure which is covered on the nucleus, that is the acrosome. Okay, and this acrosome has a hydrolytic enzyme and it is derived from the Golgi complex. So in the previous slides you already studied about how the Golgi complex are going to fuse and forming an acrosome structure on the anterior part of the nucleus. Okay, and then next part is the neck. So in the neck region you will see it is a connecting the head and the middle piece. The neck region is connecting the head and the middle piece. So this is the middle piece, it is connecting. Okay, so one is the proximal centriole, another one is the distal centriole, and the next one is the middle part. In the middle part there are so many coiling like structures are arranged. So those are energy source for the movement of the tail for the sperm, and that is known as a mitochondria. Here the mitochondria is playing a major role in the energy form for the movement of the tail and motility function. Okay, so the next is the tail. Tail is a long slender, you can see here tail is a long slender, and in the human male, when the semen ejaculates, when the human male ejaculates, about 200 to 300 millions of sperms are getting released in the semen or the seminal fluid. In that, only 60% must have the normal shape and the size, and remaining 40% shows the vigorous motility. Okay, so this is all about the study about the human sperm. So the next concept we are going to discuss on the last concept, that is the hormonal control of spermatogenesis. So what is this hormonal control? So in the first year you already studied about the hormone study. In that the gonadotrophin hormones you already studied. So in today also we will recall about some points from that chapter. So that is how the structure how that the hormones are playing major role in the spermatogenesis. This process initiated at the puberty. Okay, so when the male begins only at the time the spermatogenesis process begins in the male only at the puberty, and the hypothalamus is which is the part of the brain. Okay, and the gonadotrophin releasing hormone is an secreted from an hypothalamus. Okay, hypothalamus is a part of the brain. From that only the gonadotrophin releasing hormone is secreted, and this stimulates the anterior pituitary. Okay, so in the pituitary there are the two parts, one is the anterior pituitary and another one is the posterior pituitary. From the anterior pituitary the gonadotrophin releasing hormone is going to secrete. Okay, so there are the two types of the gonadotrophins. So one is the LH and another one is the FSH. Okay, so these two hormones are stimulated by the gonads. Okay, these hormones are stimulates the gonads, and in that you will see the two types of the gonadotrophins, that is the LH and FSH. LH is a luteinizing hormone and FSH is a follicle stimulating hormone, and which are released into the blood streams. Okay, these are the chemical messengers. And what about here FSH? What is the function of FSH in the spermatogenesis? FSH stimulating the spermatogonial cells. Okay, when the development of the spermatogonial cells are taking place, that time this FSH hormone is stimulating that spermatogonial cells in the seminiferous tubules and differentiating into the sperm. For this whole process the FSH is playing a major role, and also it acts on the Sertoli cell. Okay, so what about the LH here? LH is a luteinizing hormone. It stimulates the interstitial cell or Leydig cell. so to secrete the testosterone hormone. So Leydig cell is secreting the androgen, which is the testosterone hormone. When the level of this testosterone hormone increases it inhibits the secretion of LH. So what happens here? The increasing of the testosterone hormone is going to inhibit the secretion of LH, and also it inhibits, while the same time it inhibits or suppresses the FSH also. Okay, why? Because in the Sertoli cell there is a presence of a small amount of a hormone, that is the inhibin. Okay, so once again I will repeat this. When the level of the testosterone hormone increases, so that time what happens? It inhibits the secretion of LH and also inhibin hormone. So this inhibin hormone is secreted by a Sertoli cells. Very small amount of protein hormone it is, which is secreted in the Sertoli cells. While inhibin secretion increases, then it goes to suppresses the FSH, that is the follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, so this entire cyclic process maintains and regulates the constant rate of the spermatogenesis. Okay, so here it is a diagrammatic part, how the how the hormone is functioning from the hypothalamus to the pituitary, and which all those gonadotrophin hormones are released from the pituitary, and how it is functioning on the reproductive organ. So we can see here, this is the brain structure, and the brain is the main the hypothalamus is the part of the brain, and from the hypothalamus there is a secretion of gonadotrophin hormone, and it stimulates on the pituitary gland, that is the anterior pituitary, and there are the secretion of two hormones, one is the FSH and the LH, and these two hormones, the FSH is stimulating the spermatogonial cells to form a sperm in the seminiferous tubules. Okay, so this is the seminiferous tubule. Here the coil structure is a seminiferous tubule, and its FSH is acting on that. Okay, and what about here the next one? And also it acts on the Sertoli cell also. Okay, FSH is acts on the Sertoli cell also. And what about the LH here? The LH is a also known, it stimulates the Leydig cell, or the LH is going to stimulate the Leydig cell or the interstitial cell, and secretes the testosterone hormone, and when this testosterone hormone increases, it inhibits or suppresses, okay, the secretion of LH and inhibin hormone, and this inhibin hormone is secreted by a small amount of protein hormone is secreted by the Sertoli cell. Okay, meanwhile the inhibin secretion is increases, then what happens? It suppresses the FSH function. Okay, so and this entire process, the cyclical process, is taking place continuously in the spermatogenesis.